Hello, beautiful people. How y'all doing? Blacks, white, Asian, Mexican, Indian. Another beautiful day or evening. Yeah, was good. And you know it's a Star Wars and Star Trek thing around here. The Borg, the dark side. Y'all don't want it. What's up? So, PlayStation talking about they want to sell 125 million PS5s, right? I mean, who cares? I mean, literally, who cares? Who cares if you sell 125 million? Who cares? I think Phil Spencer said it best. Sales is not the end all be all to video games. Yep. And I hope that sink in. So who cares if you sell 125 million? I mean, who cares? Instead of focusing on sales so much, Sony need to work on their infrastructure. Yep. How about letting the PlayStation 3 for once have external hard drive support, say about up to about 4 terabyte at max? How about that? Why not give the PlayStation 3 users the ability to put a 4 terabyte hard drive on the exterior so they can save their games and their movies? How about that? Sales is not the end all be all to video games, man. Microsoft even also checkmate the game industry when they said checkmate Sony and Nintendo, when they said Sony and Nintendo is not even their competitors. They're more worried about Google, Amazon, and I think Apple. So that should struck a nerve with everybody. Instead of focusing on sales so much, how about working on your infrastructure, your network? Just saying. You know, you're gonna get your games. We know how powerful the PS5 is. You're gonna get your games. You're gonna get your games, you know, because power and specs really matters in video games. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and there's no sugarcoating it either. Power and specs matters, and that's how games run. Not on sales. It runs on power and specs, and that's how they grow. So they talk about. You always hear the saying, "Oh, numbers don't lie." Well, let's see. The PS4 sold more console than the Xbox One, right? Okay. But the Xbox One X was the game changer this generation. Your PS4 Pro ain't even 4K. The first 4K system on the market was the Xbox One X. So they said that statement about numbers don't lie. That statement is fake. Because the Xbox One was making changes. You know, they already hit you with Forza Horizon 3 and Sea of Thieves, but then they were making changes after that. They already had the Xbox Live, but then they came with Game Pass, and now they're working on xCloud. So while you PlayStation fans were sitting there focusing on sales, Microsoft was beating you. And matter of fact, they even took the torch. They even took the torch from Sony when they dropped the Xbox One X on the market. That changed the entire gaming landscape across the world. 4K gaming was in effect then. So all this talk about numbers don't lie. That statement is fake. Okay. Microsoft was doing damage. So Sony, you guys need to work on your infrastructure. Yep. You need to make your PlayStation 3 have an external hard drive support. Okay. And a lot of PS3 fans been asking about that question for years. So when are you guys gonna address it? Not only that, you guys were getting beat by Microsoft. That you start turning third-party games into exclusives, and even putting time exclusives on games. Because you were trying to play catch up to Microsoft. And you still ain't caught up with them yet. Let's see. You made Spider-Man exclusive when no superhero games shouldn't be exclusive on any console, period. And that's facts. Then let's see, Street Fighter 5 was exclusive to you. And that game used to appear on almost every console, even PC. Then you put a time exclusive on Final Fantasy VII, which was weak, which was a weak move, when you should have let it appear on all the consoles. Then you took the spec out mode out of the new Modern Warfare. That was weak. And then you put a time exclusive on Modern Warfare 2, and that was another weak move again. So all the moves that you were doing was desperation moves because the Xbox was beating you. Console wise, power and specs wise, the Xbox One X was beating you, and you knew it. So you had to come up with some type of scheme to keep up with them. So instead of focusing on sales so much, you need to work on your infrastructure. Yep. Just saying. Just saying, man. Just saying. Not that I'm not hating on Sony, but I'm just dropping facts on you. You know, Microsoft was beating you, and they had the games to prove it. You know, not only that, when you guys dropped your PS5 event show, Microsoft nullified it, killed it with This Week on Xbox the following Friday. They responded. They didn't need the Xbox event that they did about last week. They didn't need that. They already killed you with This Week on Xbox. They made it longer. They took 2 shows and combined it into one. And right after you guys did your PS5 event, they dropped This Week on Xbox and killed it. Killed the PS5 event. Killed it. And then Microsoft even did it again just for fun. They had their event and then dropped This Week on Xbox right after that, the following Friday again. So they are ahead of you guys. They took the torch from you. You know, I'm just saying. They got you beat. They got you guys beat in the backwards compatibility department. The PS2 was backwards compatible with PS1, right? And that PS2 is no joke. Then the PlayStation 3 was backwards compatible, and you guys should have kept making your PlayStation 3 backwards compatible because you were onto something. But then you decide to abandon it when you made the second generation PlayStation 3s. And that was a huge mistake. Then when PS4 came out, and then when the Xbox One came out, you guys, Microsoft screwed up with the Kinect, with the game sharing thing, and then you guys took advantage of that. But you guys should have kept using. You guys should have kept making your PS4s backwards compatible, but you were onto something. But you abandoned it. And then Microsoft saw the opportunity. Microsoft saw the opportunity. Microsoft saw the opportunity. And they seized it. You know, they seized it. You know, they were making the backwards compatibility program. You know, and they kept building onto it. But then they were adding extra features on Xbox One, to make their network better. And that's what you guys at Sony should have been doing. So instead of focusing on sales, you need to work on your infrastructure, because that's what Microsoft beat you with. Not on sales, they beat you with the infrastructure on how they got the whole thing set up. You know, so all this talk about selling 125 million, I mean, who cares? I mean, who? Who? Who cares? You know, seriously. Sales is not the end all be all to video games, man. Work on your infrastructure. Work on it. Because the Xbox One right now is nothing to be played with. Okay. From the first one to the S, to the X, and to even the digital edition. Those systems ain't nothing to be played with. So you Sony fans need to really work on your infrastructure. You know, matter of fact, when the Xbox One and PS4 was out in the very beginning, the Xbox One had external hard drive support. PlayStation 4 didn't. And then I remember walking into GameStop, and then a buddy I knew, he was big on Sony PlayStation, and I had the Xbox, and he was talking about, oh man, you need to get a PlayStation 4. I'm like, nope. And I looked at him and I said, y'all still ain't got external hard drive support yet? Nope. And then that became a problem. Okay. Because with the PS4 earlier, you had to take the hard drive out of the system and then put in a new one. And that became a problem. And until the PlayStation fan decided to get on you Sony Corporation about it. And then you finally got the message. So yeah, you guys need to work on your infrastructure. Okay? Work on your infrastructure. Stop focusing on sales so much. Don't be like Nintendo, okay? Because Nintendo Corporation had the Wii U and they gave up on it. And that system was backwards compatible with Wii. It was missing one thing, the GameCube. It needed to be backwards compatible with GameCube. And if they would have just refreshed the console, put about 8 cores behind it, increase the CD space from 25 gigs to 100 gigs in storage, okay? And then fix the tablets and the shortness with the tablet. They already had the controllers for it, the Wii U Pro, the Wii Pro, Wii Classic Pro, and GameCube. And they should have made the other 3 controllers work with the Wii U games. That's what they should have done, work on their infrastructure instead of focusing on sales. And that's what Microsoft beat both of you with. They worked on their infrastructure. They did their homework. Okay? But you guys didn't. You guys so focused on sales and exclusive. And then the work that Microsoft did on their infrastructure, it showed in their games. It showed in their games and the performance of their network. And that's what you Sony and Nintendo need to work on. Your infrastructure. So Sony, sorry man, I mean, you guys need to work on your infrastructure. It's not about sales anymore. It's all about having a powerful console and a good network to run your games. The games will come. And that's what you guys really need to work on. The same goes for Nintendo too. The Switch is garbage. A piece of junk. That's it. A piece of junk. You know. And they should have kept using the Wii U. They should have made the Wii U backwards compatible with GameCube. They should have put 8 cores in the Wii U with about 8 to about 6 gigs of GDR5 RAM. Use the same video card. And then increase the CD space at 25 gigs. I mean, increase the CD space from 25 gigs to 100 gigs in storage. And then fix the tablet. And then fix some of the controllers so they can work with the Wii U games. And then push the Wii U back out on the market. They would have been doing better. And they wouldn't have been missing out on games. Because they refused to fix their infrastructure. And they still don't get it. So it's all about infrastructure, Sony and Nintendo. It's all about infrastructure. Microsoft did their homework. Look at them. The only issue I got with Xbox is that they need to keep the Xbox One X on the market so you can get its 5-year lifespan. Keep it on the market for about 2 years, and after that, part ways with it, and then focus on the Series X. Nope. So yeah, man, it's not about sales anymore, man. It's all about having a good network and a powerful console to run the games. It's not about sales, man. Sales is not the end all be all to video games. Nope. That's what Sony Corporation and Nintendo Corporation need to learn, along with the Sony fan base and Nintendo fan base. The Xbox fans is laughing at you guys. Like, look at these fools. They still don't get it. Yep. You still don't get it. You guys can try to hold on to that exclusive argument for dear life, but it means nothing if you ain't got a good network with a powerful console, man, to run those games. So Sony and Nintendo really need to work on their infrastructure, and they both had backwards compatibility. One with the Wii U and one with the Play. So that started with the PS2 to the PS3. They should have continued using it. But those two, Sony and Nintendo, tried to abandon it. And look what Microsoft did. They seized it. So while you guys abandoned backwards compatibility and then was making fun of them because they screwed up with the Kinect and everything, Microsoft buckled down and said, okay, let's go to work. Let's work on our infrastructure. And that's what they did. Look at them now. That's why Phil Spencer came out and made that statement. You got Sony and Nintendo are not our competitors anymore. It's Amazon and Google. Come on, man. Who cares? I mean, who cares about sales? Who cares? And by the way, the Xbox is selling, by the way. And the thing about what's so different about Microsoft is they don't throw sales and exclusive in their fan base face every day. They got other things to worry about. And that's what you Sony Corporation and Nintendo Corporation need to learn. You need to work on your infrastructure, man. You both had backwards compatibility and you both took it for granted. And look at Microsoft. They seized it. Look at Microsoft. They seized it. And you guys are playing catch up. And what's so funny too, Sony and Nintendo been in the console race longer than Microsoft. And you guys should have had things down pat. And you let Microsoft with the Xbox come in and take over? You guys need to wake up. This is why Xbox Series X is about to clean house. Okay? You see all that talk, all that noise they try to make about Halo and all that? That's just jealousy and envy. Okay? Because everybody knows that you got to make the game on computers first before you can transfer it to console. So all this talk about the Xbox Series X graphics capabilities, that's nothing. They got that fixed already. They got it fixed. Sales? Who cares? Work on your infrastructure. Sony and Nintendo should be embarrassed of themselves, man, to let Microsoft come in this industry and do what they're doing. And Microsoft is the underdog in all this. Microsoft. Just saying. Sony, they should be embarrassed of themselves. They should have been on top of their game. But they're not. Same thing with Nintendo. Sony and Nintendo had both systems that were backwards compatibility. And they took it for granted. And you guys got the nerve to come talk about sales and exclusives? What? Microsoft got y'all beat already. Just saying. Gotta do your homework, man. The Xbox Series X is gonna get their games. They're going to get their games. So sales really, it ain't about sales and all that talk about numbers, don't lie. In video games, it's all about your infrastructure, your network, your console and your network infrastructure, man. You're gonna get your games. Yep. It's about the power, your console, your infrastructure, your console, and your network, man. Yep. And Sony and Nintendo, the Wii U was backwards compatible. It needed one console refresh. And Nintendo, a billion-dollar company, multi-billion-dollar corporation that is, couldn't even give the Wii U one console refresh. It was missing the GameCube. And then Sony, they had backwards compatibility with the PlayStation 2. And they carried it into the 3, but then abandoned it. They should have kept using it. And look at Microsoft now, laughing at both of them. Laughing at both of them. You plan on selling 125 million PlayStation 5s? Who cares? I mean, who cares, man? Who cares? Real gamers don't sit there talking about sales and numbers all day, man. We don't care about that stuff. We really don't care. Who cares? So Sony really need to work on their infrastructure. And like I said before, you need to have the PS3 have external hard drive support, up to 4 terabyte or 6 terabyte at max. Now the same could go for the PS2 because they got a USB port on it. Work on your infrastructure, man. You're saying it's not about sales anymore, man. power and specs matters, having a good network matters, and having a good infrastructure. Look at Microsoft. Games with Gold, Game Pass, xCloud. What is Sony and Nintendo coming with? See, Sony and Nintendo fell asleep at the wheel, and Microsoft zoomed past them. Gone. And now Sony and Nintendo is playing catch up to Microsoft. It's not about sales anymore. It's about working on your infrastructure. Okay? Anyway, nice talking to you people. It's Chris. He knows the Star Wars and Star Trek thing. Or Dark Side. I'm gone. Peace.